Welcome back, sports fans. Rob Webster, once again, coming to you from deep in the heart of Texas. Today, we're going to take a look at how we did in week 14 and look ahead to week 15. Let's take a look at how we did in week 14. We did okay in week 14. At quarterback, we like Kirk Cousins, we like Tua, we like Mike White. Cousins was a win, Tua was a push. Mike White, he would have thrown a touchdown, done anything like that. He would have been a win, but he was a push. Threw for 300 yards, had a good day, just couldn't find the end zone. Weather was tough up there in Buffalo. We like Derrick Henry, he did well. We like Mormon Stevenson. He did not do well. He injured his ankle. Kind of came back in, tried to tough the game out. Just couldn't find his rhythm, though. So he was a loss. Tony Pollard was a win against the Houston Texans. He did real well. Wide receiver, we liked Amon-Ra St. Brown. Didn't do so hot, but it was a push. Devontae Adams only had 7, so that was a loss. Jamar Chase, him and Joey Burrow just finally got back on the same page, and they're doing well, so he was a win. Tight end, we like T.J. Hawkinson. He was a win. Foster Moreau didn't have a catch, only 1 target. I don't know what's up with Las Vegas. That game was awesome, but Vegas just completely collapsed. We like David Njoku. He's looking good, especially with Deshaun Watson at the helm there. We like Daniel Jones. That was a loss. We liked, who were we steer clear of? Daniel Jones. That was a loss. David Mills was a win. Devin Singletary was a win. Najee Harris was a push. Amari Cooper, Darius Slayton, both wins. Cameron Brayton, Trey McBride, both wins. So for the week, that gave us 12 wins, 3 losses, 5 pushes, which is roughly a 73%. That's a solid C. So we're going to take that as a win. Our sleepers were once again back to 50-50. Quarterback, we like Russell Wilson. He did well, even though he got knocked out with a horrible hit. Hopefully, he works his way back. He looked good in that game. He was finding people, was moving the offense. They got down early, but he brought them right back. Always looked calm in that pocket until he got knocked out and had a huge welt on his head. Go Google that if you want to see something that's just, you want to find out if he's tough. It was quite the welt. So he was a win. Jeff Wilson Jr. for Miami, not a win. Corey Davis went out with an injury, so he was not a win. But Austin Hooper for the Tennessee Titans, that was a good sleeper. So 2 for 2 on our sleepers once again. But hey, enough living in the past. Let's move on to week 15. So who do I like week 15? Well, at quarterback, I like Josh Allen. Buffalo Bills against the Miami Dolphins. I think Josh, I think he had some struggles there, kind of had a mid-season. I wouldn't call it struggles necessarily. He just wasn't in his typical rhythm. I think he gets back into that against Miami. It's a divisional game. It's very important. He's going to be throwing. He's going to be running. Josh Allen's going to be doing it all. He knows the importance of picking up this victory. They need this game. So you're going to see Josh Allen try to do it all, which will translate into a lot of fantasy points. So look for Josh Allen to have a good game against Miami Dolphins this week. I also like Justin Herbert, San Diego, Los Angeles Chargers against Tennessee Titans. They're playing some good football. They're trying to play themselves into a playoff spot. Justin Herbert, if you have a chance, watch that kid play. A lot of fun to watch him play. He's just making plays, throwing balls. He threw one to Keenan Allen. I don't even know how he got it in there, but it was an amazing throw just right on the sideline. It was only like a 4-yard out, but my goodness, that kid can sling that ball around. So I like him this week. Tennessee's had a tough time defending the pass, so you're going to see Justin Herbert do well, get some points. So, and he's got his full complement of skill players back. So look for him to get some fancy points this week. I also like Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys against Jacksonville Jaguars this week. Yeah, Dak's back into a good rhythm. He's playing some good football. He'll see some points. I think Jacksonville will shut down that Dallas run offense, and so they'll need Dak to kind of get back into his old self, and I think he wants to. He's still a little tentative. Just he's had some injuries, had some issues, but you'd like to see him get back in full force. And this is a good week for him to do it. So look for Dak to do well against the Jaguars this week. Running back, I like Christian McCaffrey, San Francisco 49ers against the Seattle Seahawks on the Thursday night game. That's going to be a good game. Niners and Seahawks, a lot to play for, a lot riding on that game. So you're just going to see them pull out all the stops. And for San Francisco, that means a steady diet of Christian McCaffrey with Brock Purdy in there. They're a little limited, not terribly, but he's very serviceable, and so you're just going to see targets and touches from Christian McCaffrey, and if anyone can turn that into points, it's him. So look for him to get at least 20 touches, at least 7 to 10 targets, hopefully a score in there. So yeah, I think he'll do real well this week. Like Dalvin Cook, Minnesota Vikings against the Indianapolis Colts. That Colts pass offense is really good. So I just think you're going to see them try to get Dalvin Cook involved early and often in that game. And yeah, so I'd look for him to get at least 20 to 25 touches in that game. So and Dalvin Cook will turn that into points. So Dalvin Cook this week against the Colts. I also like James Conner, Arizona Cardinals against the Denver Broncos. There's many factors why we like James Conner here. First is that Kyler Murray's out for the year with I believe he's tore his ACL. So he's done. They'll have Colt McCoy in there, who's not terrible. So they can't really stack the line. He can pass the ball. He can move the offense. But you watch that Arizona Cardinal offense. They like James Conner, even with Kyler Murray in there. They look to pass the ball to him. They look to hand off to him. James Conner's playing some good football. He's not doesn't look tired. Looks like he has some fresh legs out there. So I just think with Denver, their pass defense is very good, and so you're gonna see screens. You'll see Rondell Moore also probably see a lot more action than normal, but James Conner is going to be kind of the focus of that offense, and so just like Christian McCaffrey, he's going to get touches and he's going to get targets, and for a running back, that's a recipe for fantasy success. So look for James Conner to do well this week against Denver Broncos. Who do I like at wide receiver? Well, in classic Rob Webster fashion, like a quarterback, I like one of his pass catchers. Stephon Diggs, Buffalo Bills against the Miami Dolphins this week. So, yeah, look for Josh Allen to look for Stephon. Give him the ball often and early and often. Diggs he's solid. He should be in your lineup every week, but I especially like him this week. That Miami defense has had a tough time defending the pass. They haven't looked all that great. They're usually in kind of shootouts. They're winning a lot of them. They're a good team, but they can't stop the pass game. So look for Josh Allen to find Diggs, and look for Diggs. Catches, yards, and hopefully scores, and look for him to do well against Dolphins. Back-to-back classic Rob Webster. Well, I also like Keenan Allen. I like Justin Herbert. I like Keenan Allen. And you could tell that when uh, when Justin Herbert when he needs to make a completion, he's looking for Keenan Allen. And Keenan Allen, I mean, the guy's a pro, obviously, but he's a pro's pro. He gets open, finds the hole, catches the ball. He does it all, and so just look for Keenan Allen to see plenty of targets and turn that into some fantasy points this week. I also like Garrett Wilson, New York Jets, against the Detroit Lions this week, especially if Mike White's in there. If Mike White's not in there, I still think he'll get some points. You know, that Detroit team's playing really good football. I just, you know, I'm not sure it's necessarily that sustainable. But look for, especially like I said, if Mike White's in there, Garrett Wilson will have a real good game. But I see him getting plenty of targets. They're not going to be able to run the ball against that tough Jets defense, and so look for him against that Lions defense. Sorry, but so look for him to kind of see a lot of targets and hopefully turn that into some points. Well, who do I like at tight end? None of them, yeah, except for Travis Kelce and Mark Andrews. That's pretty much it. But hey, you thought you had the back-to-back. Well, now you got the trifecta classic Rob Webster. I like Dak Prescott. I like Dalton Schultz. So get Dalton Schultz in your lineup. He'll see targets this week. Jacksonville has not done very well against tight end. They're, I believe, 30th. So I would look for Dak. You know, he's going to be trying to make things happen. I think Jacksonville will slow down the run there, and that means points for Dalton Schultz, because they're gonna want to, you know, obviously they want to win, but Dallas they got to keep pace with Philadelphia, so there's no room for error for them. So yeah, look for Dalton Schultz to do real well this week. Second tight end I like, and I'm not thrilled about this pick, but you know, I kind of look at the list and say, well, who would I go with other than Kelce and Andrews? George Kittle, San Francisco 49ers against Seattle Seahawks in that Thursday night game. We'll see. Brock Purdy's still learning the offense, but you know, that Seattle team has had a tough time defending the tight end. They've done well against receivers. You know, I think you're going to see a lot of running back screens and tight end screens from Brock Purdy, and hopefully that translates into points for George Kittle. We'll see how he does, but yeah, I mean, he's certainly got the talent. As long as they start looking for him, he'll do fine. So George Kittle this week against the Seahawks. I also like Cole Kmet, Chicago Bears against the Philadelphia Eagles this week. Cole Kmet, the Bears are coming off a bye. Justin Fields is hopefully was able to heal up somewhat during that bye week. The Eagles, you know, they're gonna gain yards. They're gonna score points against this Bears team. So the Bears are gonna have to figure out a way to keep up. Fields might have a tough time finding his receivers. That Philadelphia secondary is pretty tough. So look for him to find Cole Kmet as frequently as he can. Just make it easier on him. So Cole Kmet this week against the Eagles. That takes us to who would I steer clear of this week? Well, quarterback, first name I'd steer clear of, Colt McCoy. You know, he's coming in there in relief of Kyler Murray. He's a very serviceable backup. Has played a long time in this league. Knows how to win games. Knows how to move the ball. That Denver defense, the pass defense is just too strong though. So, you know, I don't think he'll do terrible He's just not one I'd put in your lineup, so I'd steer clear of Colt McCoy this week. I'd also steer clear of Daniel Jones, New York Giants against the Washington Commanders. You go back to 2 weeks ago when these two teams played to a tie. Daniel Jones had a decent game. I think Washington's a bit more ready for him this week. Um, so, yeah, look for, the reason Daniel Jones had a decent game last time was he had like 70 rushing yards, I think maybe in a rushing score. So I don't see the Commanders letting that happen again. And if they can shut him down run-wise, then he's not going to get any points. So Daniel Jones against the Commanders this week. At running back, who would I steer clear of? The first name is DeAndre Swift. Detroit Lions against the New York Jets. That Jets defense has been tough this year. And there's too much of a split between Williams and Swift. There's just no way with the volume that he's going to get that he's going to really turn that into many points. So I'd steer clear of him this week. Perennial top 5 running back. I'd steer clear this week. I'd steer clear of Nick Chubb. Cleveland Browns at the Baltimore Ravens. That Baltimore team has played the run really well. And if I just see it being a low-scoring game, a defensive game between these two teams. Baltimore's kind of got some injuries. They've been struggling. Yeah, I just don't have a good feeling about Nick Chubb this week. I think even if there's some struggle in the run, they try to get Kareem Hunt a little more involved. Deshaun Watson will start running the ball. They'll do things like that. So steer clear of Nick Chubb this week. Wide receiver, I'd steer clear of Amon-Ra St. Brown. He made my last week and didn't do well. And this week I don't, against Detroit's playing New York. The Jets, as I said, that Jets defense has just been really tough, and they're going to continue to play well. Goff will spread the ball around. He's just not looking for St. Brown only, even though St. Brown's the number one guy there. It's just going to be a tough day, I think, for that Detroit Lion offense. And so it'll be a close game, I think, but I just don't see him on Russ St. Brown getting a lot of points in this game. I'd also steer clear of Treylon Burks, Tennessee Titans against the LA Chargers. The LA Charger defense did a nice job last week against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. If you watch that game, Tua didn't do much. Waddle didn't do much. Tyreek Hill had a decent fantasy day, but that's because he recovered a fumble, returned it for a touchdown, and had one long pass. And you take out those two plays, and he has no points, essentially. So, and I know that's weird. Yeah, you take out 5 things, and but my point is that Charger defense is playing some good ball, and they're playing like they want to get into the playoffs and know they got to win some games. And so just look for them to play those Tennessee receivers tight and shut them down. So, I might throw Woods on that list if I had an extra spot. So Woods and Burks, they're just going to have a tough time this week against the Chargers. Tight end, I'd steer clear of all of them except for Kelsey and Andrews. But in all seriousness, Greg Dulcich, Denver Broncos against the Arizona Cardinals. Denver's going to have a tough time. I don't think Russ is going to be back for that game. They're going to have Rippon in there. If we're Mark Rippon, I might feel differently, but it's not. It's his son. And so that just means max protection, not a lot for the tight end to be doing there. So I just don't see Greg Dulcich getting the targets or getting the points. So I'd steer clear of him this week. The other tight end I steer clear of this week is Tyler Higbee. LA Rams against the Green Bay Packers. You know, that LA Rams team that was a fun game last Thursday. Baker Mayfield showing up 2 days before, leading them to victory. It's fun to watch. It's a great storyline, but they're back to business. I think they'll struggle a little bit against that Green Bay defense. That Green Bay defense is really good, and so Baker Mayfield just hasn't had enough time in that offense to really get it going. And so one of the casualties of that will be Tyler Higbee. He's just not going to get the volume or the targets or the success against Green Bay that he needs to have. So I'd steer clear of him this week. That takes us to sleepers. As you know, my sleepers last week, we're back on our 50-50 tips. So look at my sleepers, and I think you're going to pick two of them, and you'll have some success. So the first sleeper I got at quarterback is Sam Darnold, Carolina Panthers against the Pittsburgh Steelers. That Steelers defense, they're very questionable, and if they don't get enough pressure on the quarterback, Darnold will make them pay. And so that's going to be the question. If that Carolina line can protect and can keep Sam Darnold upright and give him time, he's gonna carve up that Steeler defense. So like, could go either way. That's why he's a sleeper, but definitely some boom potential there with Sam Darnold. At running back sleeper, I like Jerick McKinnon. You know, the reason I like him is we got Kansas City playing the Houston Texans. Kansas City might get up big early. They want to keep a lot of their starters healthy, and that just means a kind of a steady dose of maybe Pacheco and McKinnon, but more McKinnon, especially if they get up big. So he should be available in a lot of leagues. Throw him in your lineup. He might get, it might be all garbage time points, but hey, those count just as much as regular points. So, but I like his potential to boom this week. So that's McKinnon, Chiefs against the Texans this week. Wide receiver, I like George Pickens this week. Pittsburgh Steelers against Carolina Panthers. If Trubisky's in there, you know, he's going to be looking to make plays. Hopefully Pickens is up and down. Every week it seems like he's good, he's not good. And that's not unheard of from a rookie, playing a little inconsistently. But I think there's some potential there this week. This could turn into a scoring affair if if Trubisky can contain the turnovers and move that offense. Look for George Pickens to be a benefactor in that. So Steelers at the Panthers this week. And lastly, my sleeper tight end, any one of them. I kid. Tyler Conklin, New York Jets against the Detroit Lions, and that's if Mike White's in there. If Mike White's not in there, with Joe Flacco in there, you could see Ty Conklin. Yeah, they gotta move the ball somehow, and so Detroit's really struggled with against the tight end this year, and so look for Ty Conklin to get a little boost this week. And like I always say, he's a sleeper, so there's some potential there to get more than his regular average. So Ty Conklin, Jets against the Lions. So, and that's it for week 15, everybody. I want to thank everybody for watching. As always, post your comment. If any specific questions, I will reply. But have a blessed weekend, everybody. Get ready for this holiday season and enjoy week 15. Thank you very much.